This is the Graybeard Gaming Podcast, a gaming podcast from gaming enthusiasts. Join us as we talk about the games we love to play and the gaming industry and how it affects us as consumers. I am Scott. This is David. This is Liam. Let's go.
No, Frank, please. Let's talk about this. Frank!
Welcome, everybody, to a special episode of Graybeard Gaming Podcast. Today, it's just me, Scott, and my friend Bjorno here from the Valheim fan-made online convention, Val Con, which premiered last February. And he, of course, is here to talk about Val Con 2026. Bjorno, thank you so much for being here today. And we're going to start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in Val Con 2026.
So for those who are not familiar with me, I run a Valheim clan called the Planeswalkers, and throughout the many years of playing Valheim as a major Valheim community, we did lots of big Valheim events, which is essentially how we networked with a lot of different Valheim content creators, which then opened that up to collaborating on ValCon. So through tinkering in the Valheim scene, it kind of led to something big and special for the entire Valheim community.
Sweet. Whose idea was this? I mean, this is like, I don't know any other community that's doing this. I would like to see more of this. But how did this come about? Was it like somebody wrote it down on some toilet paper and it eventually became into a whole convention?
So me and one of my leaders over at my Planeswalkers group, we were just talking one night, and I don't know what changed the subject to conventions, but we just started talking about it, and we were like, wait a minute, no one's doing a Valheim convention right now, and then by nature of the game, there's so much you could really do with it. And we were like, could we do it? And, throughout the networking, like I was talking about before, with all the different content creators, we had the connections to essentially reach out and say, hey, would you guys be interested in doing something like this? And it just came to be. So throughout just a random conversation in the middle of the night one day.
That's how it starts. Now, after a month after the very first one, what is your, now that you've had time to reflect on it, what is your thoughts of ValCon 2025?
We learned so much last year. It was our first convention, and all of us who were behind the scenes hadn't run a convention before. But there are blueprints out there, like Minecraft did a fan-led digital convention in the past. So we just kind of, looked at successful ones, borrowed, what worked, and applied it to ValCon, and we felt like we saw some success in 2025.
Yeah, I was there. I was attending. It was a lot. It was a lot of content in a short amount of time. You guys did a 24-hour convention, and I still don't really know how you guys pulled that off. But with 2026 I have to say, I felt like there was a lot of content that I could not get into because of that 24-hour period. And, I had to sleep. And this year, it's obviously going to be spread over several days, April 17th through 19th. Is it going to be continuous, or are we doing something with like, this is going to happen on this day, this is going to happen on this day, much like a regular convention?
Yeah, it's going to be very similar to a regular convention. We'll have an opening and closing time, and it won't be a continuous 24-hour stream.
Yeah.
What really kept people, engaged in doing so behind the scenes was just purely passion and dedication. That's what made the 24-hour event work, but it really burned out the back-end people, the staff. So, having an opening closing time, that'll be what it's like in 2026. And of course, like you said, there will be different events scattered throughout the entire weekend. So if you want to come for a build event, it's on Sunday. Want to go to see the PvP event, it's on Saturday. All the build stuff's on Friday. Of course, none of that's concrete or exactly how it's going to be, but just general ideas of what you could come to expect.
But more like a live convention, not so much.
Exactly.
Yeah, watching the panels in that 24-hour. I noticed there were some people like in the very first panel that were also like in the very last panel, and they looked very different from going from that 24-hour period. That looked absolutely exhausting. But again, as an attendee, it looked like it was a success. Everybody seemed to have a lot of fun. I liked watching the builds and some of the panels. My wife was, of course, Valheim gal, shameless plug. She was there to, be on the panels and discuss a lot of things. And personally, one of my favorite things was the interview with Patrick, is it Jarlstom, I believe, who did the score for Valheim. I'm kind of into music. And I was wondering, do you have anybody lined up from Iron Gate? Are they participating in any way this year?
So the thing with Iron Gate is essentially 2025. That event was like a beta test. Iron Gate was aware of what we were doing, and even in truth, they were actively involved behind the scenes, not like where anyone could publicly notice, but in their offices, they were all watching the event, and I was communicating with Jonathan about what they liked, what they didn't like about the event. And if it was a success, they were particularly interested, depending upon like what path we take for 2026, but they're curious. So we've reached out to Iron Gate. They're reviewing our business plan. They're looking at the dates, and we're hoping to hear from them probably within the next month about whether they want to attach officially to the event, and that could change everything.
Yes, absolutely. Just an interview, or maybe a inside scoop to the next expansion, and them going to 1.0. I know that there's which leads me to my next question. There's no release date, right, for 1.0 as of right now, as of recording this. So what's going to change if it goes to 1.0 before April 17th?
A lot's going to change. If you look at the Steam numbers for Valheim right now, it's sitting. Last time I checked, it was about 30K active players. If 1.0 gets, say, announced in early March, well, now we're looking at 200,000 players,
right?
Or maybe more, because a lot of people, who stopped 2 years ago, 3 years ago, are going to hear, oh, Valheim's complete now. I should probably go do another playthrough. So we could be, instead of getting maybe 3 to 5K people attending the event, now we're talking about tens of thousands of players joining, buying merch, interacting with panels. It's night and day difference.
Yeah, I would think so. Plus, they're going to PlayStation 5 with 1.0. I don't think they've said if it's going to be day and date, but obviously at some point it would be great if it was day and date. But yeah, that would drastically change what you're doing there. It would be great also if they were talking and like incorporating 1.0 with the convention, but that would definitely cause some buzz if they were going to do that. But yeah, hopefully we'll find out between now and April 17th. Now, you did drop a trailer on Friday, which I loved it. It's got a lot of humor in it. I immediately heard Koo talking about her Franks. And if you don't know the trolls, that's the nickname for the trolls are Franks. And you've got some bullet points on here, 100 plus creators. Is that right? 100 plus? I mean, that's
just how many attached in 2025.
Wow.
All those people are still in our Discord, and a lot of them want to be involved. I'm personally thinking we'll double that for 2026. We'll probably have over 200 creators by the time it's all said and done.
Wow, that's incredible. And you've also got here on playable community servers. And I'm assuming that's where people, like attendees, can come in and just jump into a server with whoever and do whatever they want. Now, you've got, of course, live broadcast. Those are the panels. Is there anything other live broadcast that is outside of the panels? Of course, that would we just talked about interviews, but other than just showing gameplay, is there anything else planned for those live broadcasts?
Yes, Val Con 2026, the overall goal and what we learned the most from 2025 was that we wanted our broadcast to be more interactive. We wanted to have live events that people could watch and they could see it unfolding right before them instead of watching so much pre-recorded content. There
Okay.
was some live content in 2025, and there were a couple events, but 2026 we're wanting to make it grander. So a lot of it is going to be stuff that people can actively participate in. Um, we're going to have a lot of vanilla playthroughs where people can go into specific channels and look for a raid party by tagging specific roles like warrior, farmer, and we're of course going to be checking in on them. So we're going to be doing a lot more live content in 2026.
Oh, that's excellent. That's great. And then of course you've got like challenges and games. I'm assuming those are also things that can go. I remember the boat challenge from last year was particularly fun to watch. But now you've also got vanilla, modded, or Xbox. Of course, PlayStation will probably be added to that if that's what happens. But so does that mean? I was hoping maybe you can just kind of clear that up. You've got vanilla content, and then you've got modded content. And then is that go for? I know you can't mod on Xbox, but is it 3 individual types of servers, or how is
So the
that going
servers
to work?
will be branched out over 3 regions. They'll be in North America, they'll be in Europe, and they'll be in Oceania.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have 3 servers per each region. We'll have a vanilla convention server, so the one that you go in, you see the wonders, the boosts, all that stuff. We'll have a
Yeah.
modded convention server, so it'll be essentially the vanilla one, but with some extra bells and whistles.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have a vanilla survival playthrough server. So essentially, no matter what you like to do in Valheim, whether that's just straight vanilla, I'm just going to play the game again, or I want to look at huge builds, and whether that be vanilla or mod, we're really hitting all the different avenues in which you really could find enjoyment in
Yeah.
Valheim.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking forward to personally, is going in and looking at builds and going into the server and seeing just close up firsthand. When you're watching a stream, it's great to watch a stream of like flybys and walkthroughs, but actually getting to go into the server and walk around in it is that's something special. That's just really cool as far as a convention. And then you've got adventure builds. Now I'm not exactly sure what that is. Maybe you can explain that.
So that's basically another way of saying what we behind the scenes call wonders. They're essentially large builds that are put on display in both the vanilla and modded convention worlds, so that you can ooh and ah as you walk through them and walk past them. And basically, they're just giant. Like if you're at an art convention, you would go through and you would look at all the different pictures of art. Well, we find the same meaning in walking through and taking a look at all the different builds.
Wow, that is cool. That is cool. Okay, so with the server, I think that with the trailer, that's all that I could kind of surmise from that. Is there anything else that we need to know as far as clearing our dates, getting PTO in for this convention? Is there anything else you can tell us that maybe that hasn't been released yet, or anything that may be exclusive, or throw a bone?
Yes, you may want more PTO than less, because we're also doing like a micro event before the con called Hype Week. It's
Okay.
essentially the 7 days before ValCon. We'll be highlighting over 20 community servers, basically putting stuff on all of our socials. Go check out this server, go check out that server, and then we'll be checking in with them throughout the week. So essentially, the goal was to bring the entire community together. Well, that's what we're doing with Hype Week. We're essentially telling all the people, hey, you need people to go play with. You still looking for that forever home? Well, now you got these 20 servers, and they each have their own flavors, like from modded to vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
Go check them out. And then we really push for that. And then at the end of the week, we kind of all converge from all those 20 plus communities and converge at the main event. So you're going to need at least a week off if you really want to experience everything.
Wow, that's a really good idea. I feel like that's a better idea than just kind of having a set time to just turn everything on and then here we are. It gets people excited about it, and also gets again, like if you have a mod pack or if you've got something that you're having a little bit of an issue with. It's not like you're trying to do that at the last minute and get everything in place before this thing kicks off. So,
Agreed.
yeah, that's yeah. It sounds like you've learned a lot from the last one. I really enjoyed the last one, but like I said, it was a little. There's a lot of stuff to work out as an attendee. So this sounds like a much better digestible way of consuming all of this content. And this sounds great. This sounds absolutely great. I wish more gaming communities would do something like this. And this may be the template. Because if you get more people to view this, and especially if you get Irongate to incorporate a 1.0 in this, man, it's going to blow up, and you're going to see more stuff from other communities like this. So, yeah.
Can I gush a little bit about
Please.
Our vision for the future?
Absolutely.
So we knew that this, if this was successful, it would be a template to basically how it could be done in other games. And when we initially started creating Val Con wasn't what the product was at that time. At that time, it was to bring together a few different titles and kind of spotlight all of them at the same time, like a normal con would, like that showcases a bunch of
different
games.
Like games like Valheim, like survival games?
Survival Con is essentially what we were looking at.
Okay.
You're basically saying, if you played Valheim, there's a good chance you played Enshrouded. If you played Enshrouded, there's a good chance you played, I don't know, The Forest. There's so many different survival games in that niche. And from what I've seen in almost 5 years hanging out in the Valheim community, is that most, if not a majority of these players all play these survival games together simultaneously or one after another. But they do play all these games in the same pool. So why not bring all those players who enjoy all those games together, and maybe one day we'll be looking at a con that is more than just Valheim being spotlighted. It's also Enshrouded. It's also Light No Fire. And there's so many big survival games upcoming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Light No Fire is one on my list. Maybe Valcon will be synonymous with, survival convention. Then you have to change the name. It's very going to be a lot of paperwork. But also, and my last question is just, where's the merch? When we get the merch, when is it available? Is it going to be before? Is it going to be after? Is it? I know it was really hard to get during the last one, but we got a coffee mug and a T-shirt. So
I would say keep an eye on our socials and on our merch store, specifically in the month of January, because you may be pleasantly surprised to find that there's merch incoming 3 months before the main event. So there should be more than enough time for everybody to get whatever Valcon merch they need in order to, show it off, whether they be streaming or at the live or at the main event, doing an MC hosting duties, whatever it may be. People will have time to get what they need.
Great. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm throwing my wallet at the screen. So I know you have a lot to do, and I want you to get back to creating Valcon 2026. Thank you so much for coming in and give us this inside scoop. Where can people find you? And of course, where can we find more information about Valcon 2026 when it comes up?
So the best place to find info on Valcon is at our main website, which is just val-con.org. On there, you can find links to our Facebook page, Instagram, pretty much everything that you could post social media to. We're probably there. Of course, our YouTube and Twitch pages, so we'll have stuff updated on there. We're also, if you're familiar with the Valhemians, they are running a Valcon promotion right now. If you go to their website at the top, you just click the banner which says Valcon, and that'll also take you to where you need to go to learn about what we have going on.
Sweet. I'll put all those links in the show notes below so you guys can check it out later. Great. That sounds amazing. And thank you for watching. And if you want more gaming insights and discussions, come back here to join me, Liam, and David for a weekly episode of the Graybeard Gaming Podcast on YouTube and anywhere you get audible podcasts. And catch us every Tuesday at 5 p.m. on Twitch. We record our show live, and you can talk to us if you care to. So goodbye. Have a great day because you probably deserve it. Bye.
Take care, everybody.